why reset your Tarkov PVE account for 1.0 release. Today's video, we're going to go into everything about it. My experience from having already reset my account prior to the release of 1.0 on PVE, what sort of things you can expect, why you should do it, why you shouldn't do it, what also these things can actually benefit, the negatives of actually doing so at the exact same time. And whilst we don't have the full information and patch notes and update notes of all of the things that are going to be coming with 1.0, so we can't make a fully informed decision right now, I know personally I am going to be resetting on day one as soon as it's possible. That's what I'll be doing. So with that out of the way, let's delve into the topic of Tarkov PVE reset and whether or not you should do it too, or whether you should not do it. So first things first, number one is, should you have to reset your account at all? Why have BSG even implemented the fact that you need to reset your account in order to access the endgame content? That is what this whole Tarkov 1.0 PvE reset is required, is to access the endgame content and the final stages of the content that is available in Escape from Tarkov. Now, Nikita has said that this is all down to the fact that he doesn't want PvE players to essentially ruin the end game, because you'll be able to do it straight away from when the update goes live. You can already get into the end game quest lines for those of you who have already ground out pretty much every quest in the game. So he doesn't want the PvE community to be able to ruin it for all of the PvP players and anyone that has, basically already done it. However, this also forgets the fact that probably within the first week, someone is already going to have completed the game. From spending 20 hours a day for the 7 days, they're probably already going to have pretty much completed Tarkov. At least that's what I would expect, depending on how long all of these new endgame activities take, how long they are going to be, and whether or not, it is actually easy to complete the final bit of Escape from Tarkov. That is essentially what we have information-wise as to why you need to reset your account. Now, there's a few flaws with this in that people are still going to be able to grind it out pretty darn quickly, and for the majority of people, if you don't want something spoiled, you could just not look on the internet as to things that are going to spoil it for you. I mean, it's been out there, but it's been there for a while. I mean, if you want to watch a film and you don't want it to be spoiled, then don't watch things that are going to have spoilers on them. That's kind of something that you can detract yourself away from if that is the case. Now, I'm not saying that it is a necessarily bad idea or that it's horrible or it's a terrible decision or whatever. Like, it doesn't really affect me. I'm not that fussed on it, but it could definitely be a topic for a lot of people who do play PvE. And the main reason for that is one of the reasons why you shouldn't reset your account, is that you have ground out all of the time and effort to get your character, given the fact that you believed at the purchase of PvE that there wouldn't be a reset ever in PvE. That is how it was stated. There would never be a reset on PvE. Now, granted, we could have probably seen this one coming because of the fact that we were in a beta, and if you were big brain and thought about it for a long time, that there probably would be a reset. I mean, even then, it was still probably like a 20-80% chance that you ended up actually getting it right. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that they told us that there would be no resets, and so obviously there's been controversy around the fact that you do even have to reset your account, as you can probably expect from the majority of PvE players being more casual players and players that just enjoy it for the sake of playing a single player game, and that love the aspect of Tarkov that isn't just PvP orientated, and it does offer a different style of gameplay than what you would expect on a PvP multiplayer style of game. But they are the same game. They're pretty much the exact same. Sometimes the AI can be harder than real players. I know that might be a hard one to swallow for people that do play PvP, but also the elite level of the AI is definitely worse than the elite level of PvP players in terms of their combat and how quickly you will be taken out. So there is different variations of how PvE plays, but we'll get into that in a different video as to whether or not you should play PvE. But this one is resetting your account. So with resetting your account, the whole aspect is you start all over from the beginning, obviously. So back to level 1. No gear, no items, everything gets wiped off of your account. You are stuck with the bog standard. Now, the only things that will carry over are any of your achievements that you previously had. So if you completed the Labyrinth event or whatever, you get the Labyrinth hideout customizations. At least that's how it currently works in the game. So I've reset my account. I still have all of the clothing, all of the stuff that I got prior to resetting my account. So I was like level 70 or something like that, 68 or some sort of level like that. I had like 2 billion rubles or whatever. We'd done a load of the events. When I reset my account, I get given all of the stuff that I got as like exclusive rewards. So from events, etc., they were just already on my account. They stay there whether you reset or not. So I would assume that's how it's going to go forward in the future. So if you're wondering whether like deciding, I don't want to lose all of my new like holiday event stuff that I've already got, you probably won't lose that. But just be aware, maybe if that is a real issue for you, just hold off for the first day until you find out that that is not the case. So with all of that, I want to reset my account. Why is that? Well, because at the end game of PVE, there's not a huge amount to go for other than, you know, playing the game for playing the game. If you enjoy the milsim, then maybe you won't want to reset your account because that's not the reason you play. I play for the progression, and so if you are a player that's on the fence, you're not sure, if you enjoy playing the progression, the based themes of Tarkov where you are leveling up your character, you are enjoying the process of getting to the destination rather than the destination itself, and you are enjoying leveling up all of your skills, you're going for X amount of rubles as a goal, you set yourself your own goals and you're trying to reach them, and you know, you can essentially work towards those, and you've got, I want to get to level 80 on PvE, I want to be able to get there, I want to be able to grind out, I want to be able to do this activity, the labyrinth, I want to be able to clear it every single time, or 9 times out of 10 I can clear it easily. Well, that is probably something that will benefit you by resetting your account. I have enjoyed it massively, way more than what I was doing when I was just literally I've completed Kappa, I'd basically done Lightkeeper, it was all done, I just had to go and see Lightkeeper, and then I accidentally reset the wrong account, which then meant I reset the main account. It was not on purpose. So yeah, that was a fat L from me. But yeah, either way, having reset my account now, I've realized that I enjoy the process and I enjoy actually leveling up. And whilst you might think, oh, it's a chore, I don't want to have to do all of the quests again. Like, yeah, I agree that you should have endgame content that should function as a activity that you can continuously, repeatably do at the end game that is going to be specifically for that end game style of gameplay where you've got to the end, but it's not repetitive. It's not based on like, oh, you can just pick up loot. Like, that is not an end game. That is just what happens throughout a looter shooter that is Tarkov. You do that anyway, so having that as like a end game, oh, we'll just try and earn loads of rubles, that's not really actually baked into the game as it's intended. PvE doesn't have any end game like currently, so if on the off chance I can get end game activities that I can repeatedly do as part of the new update, I am 100% balls deeping it straight in there. I want to go straight in. I don't want to faff around. I want to go straight into that content and get new content because I've done it already. You guys have probably ground out a lot. You've understand the core aspects of PvE and maybe you want to have access to that. Now, I have no idea if even mod support is going to come. It won't come with 1.0, I don't believe, as I'm pretty sure Nikita is saying that it'll come after the 1.0 release, but when it does come, will it be backwards compatible to people who didn't reset their accounts? I don't know. I don't necessarily think that that will be the case. I also am not sure whether it won't be. So why wait until you realize, oh no, it does have to be reset in order to access the mods? Then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reset my account straight away and then I can progress my account straight away. So whilst there is a lot of, oh, well, out of principle, I'm not resetting my account. Well, the longer you leave it, the later on it's going to get, and then you're going to have to grind even more, and then you're going to miss out on the early game of PvE. Now, I hope that they bring in a new flea market, as I believe that that probably will be the case. That will make sense But remember, this is BSG we're talking about. There are lots of things that don't necessarily make sense. So, yeah, hopefully there'll be a separate fleet to the one we currently have right now when you do reset. Otherwise, yep, good luck trying to buy anything because it's all going to be 1 million rubles at minimum. So there's that. And I think that is kind of important for the idea of resetting your account, because if you go into an economy where it is currently right now, you're going to be either just shafted because you've got nothing and you have no rubles and you can't buy anything because they're like 4 times the price of what they would be if it was a separate fleet. So yes, it probably is going to be a pain at the start, but the start is always the fun bit. Everyone else is in a similar sort of boat that did the exact same thing as you, and it's almost like a wipe style thing, except it's at your own pace. If you want to grind out PvE for the first 2 weeks to really get ahead of people, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can spend an hour a day, 30 minutes a day, 1 raid a day, just literally doing whatever you want. And that is the big attraction to PvE. So should you reset your account if you're a player that's maxed out and the only reason you really play is for a bit of fun? I don't necessarily think you should, because it really comes down to, is it worth your time investment to restart going through all of the pain that maybe you found painful? If you hate leveling up, if you hated the quests, if you hated going through that, and the core thing that you were after was getting yourself to that level where you can have all of the gear you want and you can have everything and you can just roll through your raids and enjoy the shooter style of gameplay that Tarkov has, then no, I don't think it is worth resetting your account, because you're going to have to go through it all again, and it might take you another 6 months to a year to be able to get to the point where you were previously. So is it worth it for you? Probably not. No, I wouldn't say so. So, you know, it's really down to the fact of, are you a bit bored? B, are you wanting new content? And C, are you still playing PvE and have an interest in PvE? If either one of those is a yes, then you should probably reset your account. If it isn't, and you just simply think that all of those things are not fun, then don't reset your account. It's that simple. And I think there's been a lot of hate towards people that are like, no, I'm not resetting my account, or yes, I'm resetting my account. At the end of the day, PvE is created for everyone. It's created for the whole player base. Whether you are a super skilled PvP player, there are some occasions where PvE can come in useful for testing out kits, testing out what sort of things you want to use. And for a player like that, I don't think resetting your account is going to be a good idea, because you're going to have all of the rubles you need. You don't have to grind it out. You don't have to devote more time into playing the mode where you just are literally testing out kits and testing out weapons to see what's kind of the best for you. Then no, don't probably reset your account. If you are a player that is doing it for the storyline and you want all of the content and you want to be able to progress through a full game-like experience, at least that's what they're saying is going to be delivered. I don't know if that is the case, but yes, then 100% reset your account. For me, why I am resetting my account is genuinely because I want to have access to more content. If it means it can prolong the gameplay loop of what I'm currently playing right now, then that is a benefit to me. And I can make content on all of the new content as well, so that is also a reason why I would reset my account. But I really wanted to make this video to kind of give you an idea of that you don't have to reset your account if you don't want to. Don't feel pressured into resetting your account because you want or that there's endgame content. We don't even know what that endgame content is. Is it even going to be worth resetting your account? We just don't know. So don't feel like you have to do it. That is something that I really want to press home about, is that PvE is down to what you enjoy, and if the content they release is not something that you're going to enjoy, then probably don't reset your account straight away, because maybe you'll see the content that's released with the 1.0 update and realize, yeah, that kind of sucks. I don't really care about any of that, and so you've reset your account preemptively and realized, oh, now I've got to grind everything and I'm not really getting anything out of it. So those are some things that I wanted to talk about in today's video. I wanted to keep it kind of short and sweet. It's a bit rambly, I know, but these are some of the things that I find interesting, and topics that hopefully you guys will find interesting. And realistically, I want to see what your points are. I just wanted to see how you guys consider this whole PvE reset. I really don't agree with the fact that they have forced people to kind of reset, even though it's not a forced reset, because you don't have to do it. But if you want the end game content, you have to do it. Like, yeah, it's basically a forced reset for anyone that enjoys PvE's story. So yeah, I mean, that definitely sucks. But with that out of the way, let me know your thoughts on this whole topic, what you actually want changed, what sort of content you hope that the 1.0 release will have. And we've got a video coming out soon that will be highly edited about whether PvE mode is worth the money and whether or not it's kind of worth delving into as a new player if you're someone who's never played PvE before, because yeah, that should be a pretty hearty topic to get into. And obviously any of your suggestions and thoughts, I'll take those into consideration and hopefully put those into the video and kind of give a general consensus of what the overall player base is, because I'm just one player who plays the game way too much. So that is not the general people who play the game, which is you. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.